So we're doing this one in English. A little mate to you. Ah, mate, 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 Argentina. Chimarrão, Brazil. Ravi here. What is a decade? If we don't know each other yet, my name is Ravi. I've been doing YouTube videos for 16 years, thankfully, very thankfully. I have been writing haiku poetry for a number of years. I wrote one this morning. Will I be able to find it? That's always the fun part, because I'm normally in so many different, there it is, look at that, I found it. Here, I'll even, look, because I'm a super artist. But there's my haiku that I just wrote. Let me read it to you. What good is having? What good is having the watch if you ain't got the time to enjoy it? Thank you. Let me read that one more time. What good is having the watch if you ain't got the time to enjoy it? Now that one was a first draft. I will need to polish that one, but hey, the gist of the idea is there. Where are we putting our time? So I've been really studying marketing for the last 2 years, very deeply. I could that's a fun one. I would like, and I'm about to, and I'm attempting, and I'm seeing what will happen, and maybe it will make me verge off into another program, platform, possibility, potential, I don't even know. But I really would like to get results online. Now, I've written a couple of great books. One of them is absolutely amazing. It's called Protonic Speaking. Hey, I've got several testimonial videos, and I get them again and again, even yesterday. Talking to this gal, yesterday this guy, talking to this guy, and he corrected himself mid-thought because he read my book more than once, and not only did he read my book, he understands that there is some super truth in there, and so he corrected himself and even used one of the examples in my book as a way of letting me know that he's read it, and I know he read it. But that's a fabulous thing. So, I mean, of course, I want to impact the world somehow. I want to influence the influencers, etc., etc. So I have a runny nose, spring's coming, allergies come along with it, and it's all good. I started this channel 16 years ago, over 16 years ago, and for the first 15 years it was basically all English. Okay, I've got a couple of videos where I don't know, I shot it in Portuguese in Brazil, whatever, it doesn't matter. Fortunately, thankfully, I've been very blessed to have traveled a lot. I've lived in 10 different countries. I'm in the south of France right now, the French Riviera, a couple hundred meters from the beach. And I am super thankful for my life. And one of the things that I've been studying is this idea of time. Time is huge. Time is just so much more valuable than all the money that we can spend. And I know people like to think about the money that they can make. No, it's the money we can spend. What about the money that we can spend? It's about the spending of the money. Otherwise, what good is the money? It's the money that we can enjoy to help us have a better quality of time. People have this whole time equals money equation. They've got it all screwed up. So here's the point. I mean, realistically, if I grab, like, I've got this really great, there's this really great, the old minister of French education, his name was Luc Ferry. He wrote a great book on on the Greek mythology, right? And so that's one of my reference books that I really, really appreciate. But I just love any kind of mythology because I do think that, as Joseph Campbell says, we are on a hero's journey. So whether we call this a simulacrum, a matrix, a game, a tele-reality, whatever, who knows, a cosmic quiz, I don't even know what we're doing, and it doesn't matter. But what I've noticed is, because I've been studying marketing, and I'm tying this all together, because I've been studying marketing, I've been looking for my niche. I've been looking for what it is. How can I really help people? And of course, they all say, well, what do you love? Or what have you done? What did you used to do when you were 8 years old and 14 years old? There's all sorts of little specific points. But what my little slant is, what do I do for a decade? What have I done for decades? So, for example, in my own case, real estate. I've invested in real estate for more than a couple decades. I've invested in me, personal development, and having a great attitude for over a couple decades. I invested in languages. So, yo te puedo hacer este live, ahora mismo te lo puedo hacer en español. Y yo vivo en el sur de Francia. Je parle français tous les jours. Ich könnte das auch auf Deutsch geben, diese Live auf Deutsch. So I speak several languages. So I spent over a decade studying languages. Now, how is that one? I lived in Italy where I studied at the Università per Stranieri. I studied Dante. I literally read La Divina Commedia in Italian. Nel mezzo del cammin di nostra vita mi ritrovai per una selva oscura che nel pensiero rinnova la paura. Ahí quanto a dire che era aspre e forte, che nel pensiero rinnova la paura. Che nel pensiero rinnova la paura. And most people are living in fear. I love how I can just pull out these little nuggets of wisdom, as we say, whatever we want to call it, but from different languages, because when we're only studying Shakespeare, then we only get Shakespeare's point of view, but Shakespeare is dead. Fortunately, his writings live on, but the man, bless his whatever, peace on his whatever, he's not here anymore. His writings are still here. But so are other great writings. Cervantes, who was a contemporary, although they probably never met, but they were contemporary, right? His writings are still here. So when our writings are still here 500 years later, then there's obviously something behind that. So I don't know, people talk about 10,000 hours. Okay, that's cute. I like that theory, maybe. I don't know. Then we go down to the Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week, which is complete and utter BS. And that's all right. I really respect Tim Ferriss, but he was a great marketer. That book was about marketing. The selling of that title was huge. It was just huge. Absolutely. I mean, super kudos to Tim Ferriss. Sorry, my nose, the allergies. So I hope you bear with me with my nose. Anyway, so when we think about all of these things, what it boils down to is time. Sure, anyone can tell you how to make your first million. Okay, I could teach you how to make your first million. But what good is a million? How would you spend your first million? It's a simple exercise. Write down on a piece, go watch the film Brewster's Millions. But just for the idea, not for the film, okay, that's cool, whatever, but for the idea of, and I learned this from Joel Bauer, but he said basically spend $1 million, just like write it down, write everything down that you would spend $1 million on in 1 week. Then, if you successfully spend the $1 million, then get another $1 million for the full rest of the year. And it's a great exercise. It's a really good exercise. And a lot of times we're not using our brains enough anymore. So great, okay, the school, it taught us a bunch of stuff. It washed our brains, as we say, brainwashed us, right, or whatever. But there really are some good things that come out of it. Most of us learned how to read. Most of us learned how to write. Most of us learned arithmetic. So how about reading, arithmetic, and writing? Raw. Go back to the raw essence of what we learned and now take that and now let me tie this back to the Luke Ferry thing. When we start to read Greek mythology, everything started in chaos and went to order. If I take the Bible, it starts with the darkness. From the darkness, we pull out the light. From the chaos, we go to order. Whatever your mess in your life is could be your message, apparently. Now, this is something I'm studying, so I can't prove that. I mean, I know that I'm thankful that I didn't come from anything and I was able to create something. I mean, I did come from something. We all come from something, but I mean, I came from a mess and I was able to somehow straighten things up. I now find myself coming out of a mess again because I'm trying to straighten everything up because I got myself into a mess again. I bought this little building down here in the south of France. And we learn as we go also because the French laws are just absolutely sick. They're sick. The bureaucracy here is absolutely sick. It's all about protecting the socialist assisté, as they call them down here, the assisted socialist people, as in the people that believe more in sapping, taking, than they do in giving. And there is no free lunch, and this is my own karma, and maybe it's a lesson for me to learn, for me to evolve myself, whatever it is. So my building was squatted for a few years. I lost so much, and it doesn't matter. So I'm restarting again, but I'm very blessed because I'm not just restarting again from zero like when I originally started. Somehow, I still will be able. I'm finally selling the building. It's finally sold. Basically, I get the money in a month or two, whatever. So I get to turn a new page and turn a new chapter with new lessons learned. So the idea of a decade then. What have we done? How have we invested our most precious time, energy? What did we put our energy into? What energy time filter? Okay? We can call that a TEF, time energy filter. TEF, time energy filter. As a matter of fact, I'm even going to write that down. I like that, TEF. Because I come on here sometimes because I'm also clarifying for myself. And I know I'm supposed to come on with the program and I'm supposed to tell you, no, I'm using YouTube because YouTube uses me. I've never made a dime off of YouTube, okay? So TEF, time, energy. And for those of you that are here, great, welcome. But what I'm spewing out is actually great info. You can take it or not. I do lives in French every Tuesday and Friday at 11:11. And filter. I like that word, filter. So what phase of your life are you in? What have you given a full decade to? If you have given a decade to something, I'm guessing. Write me down in the comments. Tell me, if you've given a full decade to something, you probably learned something. Now with over a decade of real estate in Paris, and then, I took a breather. Maybe I should not have taken a breather. Maybe I should have, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care about the shoulda, woulda, couldas. I'm only about, okay, what can I learn from that? And how can I get back up and get on with it now with what I've newly learned? And maybe that's part of the evolution. I really love the idea of the Mobius strip. So with a Mobius strip, because every time someone only talks to me about two, I think three. There's amazing math in the world, and there's one of the things that I really, really love. It's the letter phi in Greek, which represents to me the Fibonacci sequencing. Fibonacci is a sequence that goes 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144. So, and it keeps on going, right? But I go up to 144, that's plenty. So, I just see some comments that just came up. Anyway, I see le pro des édites. Bonjour. Le pro des édites, bonjour. Tiens, le pro des édites. C'est intéressant. J'aimerais bien savoir ce que ça veut dire exactement. Est-ce que tu peux me faire une petite publicité, ce que tu fais vraiment en 2 phrases? Le pro des édites. Ça m'intéresse parce que comme j'ai fait du marketing et comme je suis très fort avec le mot dans plusieurs langues, C'est pas que je corrige les textes, mais je peux aider les gens à s'encaisser. C'est pas la conversion. Non, conversion, c'est mignon. Mais moi, je parle d'encaisser, cash, grâce à ton copie. Donc, j'aimerais bien savoir ce que tu fais là. Alors, Mirabella Marolicaru. Cool. Eh oui, c'est cool. La vie est belle. So, basically, what have you done for a decade? A decade. A decade. So, for over a decade, I've been giving these videos about gratitude. Yes, if we go back and look at the over 600, could it be shorts or videos or 2 hours long, whatever. They go from 20 seconds to 2 hours. So 12 seconds to 2 hours. Okay, over 600 of them, and it is what it is. But what I'm saying is, if I go back and look at all of them, most of them are from some sort of personal development. And my idea is gratitude. Gratitude is my very first key. I give it to you. Gratitude is the very first key. And when we use gratitude with our TEF, time, energy filter, what are we filtering? Gratitude. Are we grateful for the moment? Everyone talks about the moment, le moment présent, the present moment, living in the now. I'm going to be honest here. Most people don't even know where today is. I give you a super challenge. I cannot even do it myself, but I give you a challenge. Can you only speak about today? It's impossible, because we go talk to someone and they're going to bring us right back to the past. Hey, remember last week when oh, dang, I lost it. So we can't. How are we supposed to stay in the moment when everyone else is talking about who knows what time zone? So anyway, that doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, I'm saying some things are just actually, they're trying to purposely take us off our route, right? We have to keep on using discipline or enjoyment or hope or something. We need a direction. The word day, today. Day. D is direction. Where are we going? It's a journey. Where are we going? Are we going in the same place? Well, if we look for a decade, if we look how far we've come in the last decade, or what we've done in the last decade, that might tell us what our direction is. A decade is a really great way to see if we've got some direction going on. A decade is a really excellent way to see if we are doing something, right? Or not. Have you personally enjoyed your last decade? Will you be around for another decade? Will I still be here for a decade? Who knows? But it's a good question to open up with. And it's the idea of beginning with the end in mind. When people play chess, there's what they call a beginning, a middle, and an end game. Now, people study these things. People study all the opening moves. Okay, cool. And then there are people that study all the end moves. And then in the middle game, there's a whole nother story. And it's something that's interesting to look at as well. So what does the end game look like? It's in the famous Steve Covey book. Begin with the end in mind. And that is really huge advice. And I keep on trying to come back to that myself. Okay, at the end of my life, what do I want to have accomplished? So I've now written several books. I would like them to all be published. So that's something I need to work on. That's something I need to do. I'm very blessed to have a few children. I would like more, but it doesn't matter. If I get more, great. If it is what it is. The universe is absolutely amazing. I'm very thankful for what I already have. I'm thankful for all I get to enjoy. And that's actually part of my little secret, is somehow trying to say thank you for this amazing life. So this was just a little test in English, because I'm still trying to see if what I can do in English, because this channel, since I bought this little iPhone here, has been seems like it got converted to French. Last year I only had 300 and something people, and now I've got 1,400. But that's over 1,000 that are in French. And so it doesn't seem like if I do anything in English anymore, I don't really get the views that whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I still keep on trying to give. I'm still trying to find my way, so to speak. So I'm still trying to develop, and sometimes it takes a decade to develop, right? So there we go. I answered the two little commentaries. There's 8 people and 2 likes. That's cute. Anyway, I'm Robbie. Be the gift. Be the gift. As I say in French, cherche tes dons d'essence. Look for the gifts that we have in the inside of us. And if we, I mean, come on, let's think about it. If we're lucky, we get 7, 8, 9 decades in this life. That ain't a lot of time, kids. And the first decade is just, we're oblivious, man. We're just like, whatever. Or we're living whatever we're living because we're under all the societal, parental, and all the other pressures that come around. Parental pressure is huge, but then there's the whole societal thing. And then the decade from 10 to 20, it's where a lot of us rebel. So a lot of us start to actually develop who we're going to be, so to speak. And then the 10s to 20s, we should be enjoying that a lot, actually. That's thankfully when I started traveling, and that's been an amazing thing. 30s to 40s, wow, that's a whole nother thing. And then men at 40, boom, we have this midlife crisis, right? And then who knows what happens after that. Then there's the people that come into the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. But let's face it, after 40, it's not the same game. We've got some consciousness, I guess. There's some awareness going on. So it changes our perspective on life. And if we're lucky, we have kids, and then the kids start growing. And so there's a lot to it. So what have you done for a decade? Think about a decade for yourself. What does a decade mean to you? And I'm thinking about this myself, a whole decade. What decades? How could I mark each decade with? Like, what was the major point? See, that's another great thing to think about. What was the major point of each decade that I got to live, right? So I hope this helps. I'm Ravi. Be the gift. If you speak French, I will see you Friday at 11:11. Just go back and look at some of my videos in English, the older ones. There's fun. There's one about the searching for treasure. I don't remember what it's called exactly. I was in Brazil. Anyway, I'm Ravi. Je suis Ravi. Ensemble, on est en éveil. Be the gift. Enjoy. Kinsey. Hello, noob. I don't know what noob means, but that's okay. I hope everything's great. Cheers. And I will catch you between now and Friday at 11:11. Bliss.